Hey guys, Chris from Metal on Earth. Going to do a quick video blog today about one of my favorite condiments to have in the fridge, and that's pickled onions. They're super easy to make, take no time at all. They last forever because you make a ton of them, and they're great additions to sandwiches, to salads. You can top them on fish, burgers, sandwiches, coleslaw, whatever it is. They're awesome. So here we go. Ingredients. Obviously onions. I like red onions. I just like the brilliant red color they get. Visually, I think they're really great. So a nice big red onion. We're going to do a half a cup of sugar. Looks like a lot, but it actually dissolves in the brine, and you're not actually eating all the sugar. So half a cup of sugar, just organic sugar. Red wine vinegar, we're going to take 1 cup of that, so double what your sugar is. So you can make huge batches of this, you can make small batches of this. So double the quantity of sugar, so 1 cup of red wine vinegar. Our spices, you could just do vinegar and sugar, that's the simple way, or you can add any spices you want. Get creative. I always add a chili pepper. I've got a broken up Chinese star anise in here. I've got some coriander, and I've got some peppercorns. Really any quantity you want, as strong as you want it, as mild as you want it. I probably have a 1/4 teaspoon of each in here. A crock to put them in, just a glass jar. You could use a mason jar, whatever you want, and a nice sharp knife, the important thing. So now I'll show you the technique. Alright, so we're going to get the brine going. Easy peasy. Going to take your cup of red wine vinegar, dump it into a small pot, your half a cup of sugar, toss it in there, toss your spices in. We're going to pop that on the stove, just over kind of a medium-low heat, just enough to dissolve the sugar and bring it to barely a simmer. We don't want to boil it. We don't want to reduce it at all. We just want to warm it enough to dissolve the sugar, and then we're just going to let it kind of infuse the spices as it does that. So I'm going to pop it on the stove. Should take about 5-6 minutes. Okay, so our brine's on the stove, just coming up to temperature to simmer. We're going to cut our onion now. Red onion, I'm going to cut both ends off. So I'm going to cut the root end and the stem end. Nice sharp knife. Keep your fingers back. This is kind of knife skills 101. Fingers curled behind, so I can't cut myself. Cut that tip off just a little bit. Shove that aside. Back side. Cut the end off, shove that aside. I'm going to turn it onto a flat end, much safer. I'm going to cut it right down the middle, just like that. Now I've kind of peeled this a little bit if you want. You can peel a layer off if it's a skin. Just kind of peel that right off. I already did that, so don't worry about it. Now you can see the kind of direction of the lines of the onion. This is a little trick that I learned. If I lay it flat like that, I have the grain running this way, and I'm just going to kind of cut along that. So hopefully you can see this. I'm going to curl my fingers back, and I'm just going to make as thin a cuts as possible. The thinner the cuts, and I'm going to go kind of at the angle. You can see how thin they are. I'm going to go at the angle of the onion and along the grains. And the way we do that is just keep our fingers back and just keep it thin, and just kind of keep moving your fingers back. Nice sharp knife. As you get good, you can get faster and faster. We're just going to cut that onion. And we want them nice and thin because they'll pickle faster. You could obviously do this really thick, but it's going to take several days to pickle. These nice thin onions, they're only going to take about 24 hours. They get better with time, but only about 24 hours. Alright, so we're just going to finish cutting all those up, and then we'll pack them in the jars and do the next step. Okay, so we got our onions cut up, 1 large onion. We've got our brine made, and that was 1 cup of red wine vinegar and half a cup of sugar, and then our spices. We've got a 1 quart jar here, and we're just going to pack these onions right inside there. So just grab a handful of onions, and you can literally, it looks like they're not going to fit, but they will, trust me. You really do have to kind of get them in there, shove them in there, and if they don't all fit, you can always do 2 jars, it's not a big deal. But get them shoved in nice and tight. And we want to leave just a little space at the top. You don't have to leave a lot because what we want to have enough room for all the spices to get in there and all the red wine. Alright, so that's good. So we got a few extras here that I can either do another jar of, or I can just put them into something else. So we're just going to take our hot brine. This just came off the stove. It's been sitting for maybe a minute. And we're just going to slowly pour that over. It probably won't all fit in there because the onions take up so much room. But you want to get as much as you can. Make sure your chili pepper gets in there. You want to take it just to the top, leave a tiny bit of head space in there, so just a little bit of space, don't pour it over. And that's it. I'm just going to tuck my pepper in there, and we're going to seal this up. Pickled onions. Now they don't look like anything right now, but in 24 to 48 hours these are going to turn brilliantly red. They're going to be super sweet, tangy, and they're just so good on everything. So give it a shot. The recipe's online too. Just kind of look below this video. It should be right there. And that's it. Pickled onions. Good luck.